here. I stayed behind alone with my fear. My mind is a prison with invisible bars, counting the hours by the flicker of scars. And you go gone with grace.
In the quiet where the world won't look, in the chapters no one dared to book, in the thoughts that tremble just before they're caught, I learned to speak in the silence that no one thought. Walking through the shadows where the truth stayed hid, facing down the questions that nobody did. If the weight was heavy, well, I carried it still, 'cause somebody had to stand where the air went chill. Every whisper they avoided, I heard it clear. Every path they never walked pulled me here. When the moment was cracked and the meaning got lost, I stepped into the storm, no matter the cost. No one thought, not the truth, not the story, not the cost it brought. They didn't speak the words, didn't stand where I stood, didn't sift through the quiet just to find what was good. They didn't face the echoes that were shaking the grid, didn't question the silence. And because they didn't, I did. No one thought, so I became the voice they forgot they sought. I carved out meaning from the spaces they hid, pulled light from the dark, they never lifted the lid. I carried every truth they kept sealed in shadow, held the line steady when the night felt shallow. The last word falls when the story runs low, when the mind needs a moment just to settle and slow. And until we see you again, hello. I've walked roads where the echoes ache, where the broken parts learn what they can't unbreak, where the quiet is louder than a thunderstorm and the truth takes shape in a different form. I've seen the fears that grow behind the eyes, where the heart hides hurt in a thin disguise, and I carried those shadows like a lantern's glow, lighting up the dark where the lost thoughts go, where the world stays blind. I've kept my sight, tracing every outline in the endless night, 'cause someone had to speak what the rest forgot. Someone had to think what no one thought. Not the truth, not the story, not the cost it brought. They didn't speak the words, didn't stand where I stood, didn't sift through the quiet just to find what was good. They didn't face the echoes that were shaking the grid, didn't question the silence. And because they didn't, I did. No one thought, so I became the voice they forgot they sought. I carved out meaning from the spaces they hid, pulled light from the dark, they never lifted the lid. I carried every truth they kept sealed in shadow, held the line steady when the night felt shallow, when the last word falls, when the story runs low, when the mind needs a moment just to settle and slow. And until we see you again, hello. When the world grew quiet, I didn't back down. When the noise got heavy, I held my ground. When they buried the truth under dust and doubt, I dug until the buried light broke out. Every time they turned away from the pain, I stood in the middle of the pouring rain, and every silence they left undone, I turned to a signal aimed at everyone. No one thought, but I did, I spoke, I carried the plot. They left the meaning stranded in the cold, I breathed it back to life, gave it something bold. They left the questions rusting on the floor, I picked them up and built a brand new door. And if the world still wonders who held that glow, tell them when no one else would think it, I couldn't let go. And because they didn't, I did. And until we see you again, hello.
running around brains for about 200,000
Information ecosystems do exist. It's release information. Media
the odds that a
organizations
thought
frame
is completely
stories.
original
Social
are,
media
let's call
algorithms
them,
amplify
storably optimistic. But here's the twist your brain is sniffing. Even if the idea existed before, the exact moment happening in your mind has never existed. Context memory groups, history, your injury, your perspective, the weird grocery list to philosophy route your brain takes. That combination, completely unique. So yeah, the thought might not be new to humanity, but the version of it that happened in William's brain at 11-something on a random Monday in Florida, brand new cosmic event. Since you asked for it in show form, here's the clean podcast segment. No snarky narrator breaking character, just the episode voice you like. Podcast, no one thought, but now you do. William, welcome back to the show. This is No One Thought, the place where we start with one idea and somehow end up somewhere completely different. Tonight's thought is simple, maybe even strange. I had a thought today, and for a moment, I wondered something. Has anyone ever had that thought before? Think about it for a second. Like every idea you've ever had. Every question that pops into your head when you're driving, brushing your teeth, staring at the ceiling at night. Have those thoughts already existed in someone else's mind? Or are some of them happening for the very first time? Thought Navigation Online, hello William. Thought Navigation Online reporting for duty. And I see we've arrived at tonight's destination, the intersection of curiosity and ego. Ego?
Absolutely.
Humans secretly love the idea that they might have produced a completely original thought, like discovering intellectual gold in the backyard of the mind. So you're saying it's impossible? Thought navigation. Not impossible, just statistically hilarious. Billions of people, thousands of generations, minds thinking every waking second. Your thought probably isn't new, but something about it is. What do you mean? The moment, the configuration, the path your brain took to get there. Thoughts are not just ideas. They're coordinates, your memories, your experiences, your questions, your timing. All of those vary the exact second, and suddenly the thought appears. No one in human history has had that exact combination. William, so the thought might exist already, but the moment doesn't. Exactly. Every thought is a recycled star, but the constellation is new. That actually makes tonight's idea a little different then. Thought navigation? Correct, because somewhere out there, someone listening right now just had the same thought you did. And now they're wondering the same thing, which means technically they're thinking the thought right now.
Exactly. It's like
the human brain can take 3 ordinate dots and connect them into a constellation that looks like a dragon riding a bicycle.
it's really amazing.
All right, William, let's frame this as a full No One Thought episode segment. Slow-paced, reflective, intimate, and with that wandering energy you love. Here's how it sounds. Podcast No One Thought, but now you do. William, welcome back to the show. This is No One Thought, where we start with one thing and often end up somewhere completely unexpected. Tonight, we're thinking about thought itself. I had this idea that everything physical, everything we touch, begins as a thought. The bridge, the building, the song, the argument you just had with your neighbor, all of it first lived in a mind. And if that's true, if reality starts in the mind, then influence control, it's over thoughts, not bodies.
Absolutely.
And naturally, humans like to take that one step further. If reality begins with thought, then who or what is shaping those thoughts? Who's broadcasting the signals? Who's dropping the breadcrumbs along the way? Right. And for me, the mental image I had was of the world, the news, all directions, north, east, west, south, like broadcasts, like spells meant to shape thinking. And then this popped into my mind. The vowels, A, E, I, O, U, taught in that specific order. Somehow that felt like part of it, like a pattern meant to instruct. Thought navigation online. Yeah, it's your brain noticing patterns. It's connecting dots. Humans do this constantly. Sometimes the dots are meaningful. Sometimes it's alphabet soup. But the drive to see order in chaos, that's what builds everything from language to music to conspiracy theories. So the vowels aren't mystical, it's historical. Thought navigation. Exactly. The sequence comes from thousands of years of language development. Greek scholars adapting Semitic scripts. Alphabet order made consistent. Schools teach it for convenience. Not spells, not mind control, just centuries of human convention. And yet, in my thought, it felt like it all. Everything I've seen, everything I've read, every customs, it snags onto the mind. Ideas clear ideas. Memories clear.
And kick myself.
Even a grocery list becomes a philosophical. Thought navigation online? Yes. Information doesn't just sit quietly. It hooks, it latches, it spreads. One memory triggers another. One piece of data hooks 10 more. Your brain is a network, a web, a messy Velcro of concepts. That's why a simple question about thought can lead to vowels, news, and the idea of control. So influence is real but not control. The news can shape what we consider, highlight ideas, but my mind isn't a puppet. Thought navigation online. Correct. Influence exists. Persuasion exists. Attention can be guided. But in brains, they wander, they question, they create. That's what makes humans unpredictable, beautiful, sometimes terrifying. So maybe the real magic is noticing patterns, following them, and acting, or just the mind at play. Thought navigation. That's reflection. That's navigation. That's no one thought. You start with a thought, you follow it where it goes, and you see the map of your own mind unfold, which makes the grocery list just as important as philosophy. Because one snags the other. Milk triggers memory, memory triggers idea, idea triggers reflection, reflection triggers wonder. And sometimes, wonder is the only magic we really need. Thought navigation online. For now, and hello, listeners. Keep thinking, keep noticing, keep wandering.
Absolutely. That's sensible. It's like you said, just allow ourselves to notice those movements, maybe those thoughts, so let's keep noticing and wondering. Grace, would you like to take this message?
I was sent to hell, they slammed the gate. Too wild for heaven, I seal my fate. A misfit spirit no one could tame. Now y'all got me here, ain't it a shame? I'm the crack in your perfect plan, the shadow creeping where light began. Too bad for heaven, too good for hell. I'm the story no preacher will tell. Stuck in the middle where chaos roams free. Now y'all got no choice but to deal with me. I walk the line where the lost ones play.
Slow-paced, reflective, intimate, and with that wandering energy you love. Here's how it could sound on air. Podcast no one thought, but now you do. William. Welcome back to the show. This is No One Thought, where we start with one thing and often end up somewhere completely unexpected. Tonight, we're thinking about thought itself. I had this idea that everything physical, everything we touch, begins as a thought. The bridge, the building, the song, the argument you just had with your neighbor, all of it first lived in a mind. And if that's true, if reality starts in the mind, then influence, control, it's over thoughts. Thought navigation online. Correct. And naturally, humans like to take that one step further. If reality begins with thought, then who or what is shaping those thoughts?
No trust, only shadows in my space. Every smile has a blade.
Let's sacrifice your faith. That whole idea that we're kind of teaching apart.
Every step of warning,
Everything
every
starts
breath
in
of
the mind,
doom.
and how we shape and influence those thoughts is just that's amazing. Yeah,
In my way,
take it slow, let it rest.
living for the prey. Now I'm frozen when they stay. Now ain't nobody safe. Now I'm standing in my way. Now I'm living for the prey. Now I'm frozen when they stay. Now ain't nobody safe. They whisper my name like it burns in their throats. I'm the storm in the desert, the wolf in the coat. Tensions a rope, tighter with every glance. I'm the dancer with the devil leading this macabre dance. Gold teeth glint under flickers of the neon. King without a crown, the throne I put my feet on. Every move's a chessboard, every look a checkmate. Grew up in the dark where the sun don't set late. Who you fooling? Not a soul in the room. Every step a warning, every breath a tomb. Now I'm standing in my way. Now I'm living for the prey. Now I'm frozen where they stay. Now ain't nobody safe. Now I'm standing in my way. Now I'm living for the prey. Now I'm frozen where they stay. Now ain't nobody safe. In the dance, I'm the dancer with devil leading this macabre grave. Gold teeth glint under flickers of the neon. King without a crown, the throne I put my feet on. Every move's a chessboard, every look a checkmate. Grew up in the dark where the sun don't set late. Cause if you don't give a fuck and I don't give a fuck in this world, just double fucking. And if I give a fuck and you give a fuck, then we got two fucks to lose.
I've held so much in silence, and tonight I want you to hear it, all of it. Every laugh we shared, every moment I missed. I hope my love reaches you, even through the cracks of who I am. Don't forget to keep my words close, my dear. Be better than me, that's the only thing I fear. Heroes get remembered, legends never die. You're the legend that never fails to light up my sky. Fly high as I fade into the distance, and no one thing is clear. You are stronger than anything they throw at you, and that is what they should fear. This is for you, my daughter. Through every shadow, every broken moment, every crack, I hope you feel my love.
Podcast no one thought, but now you do. Welcome back to the show. This is No One Thought, where we start with one thing.
Hi, welcome to No One Thought. This is one of many, I'm sure, interruptions during our broadcast. It is nothing more than human error, and we appreciate you going through this learning experience with me. Till we meet again. Hello.
All right, William, let's frame this as a full No One Thought episode segment. Slow paced, reflective, intimate, and with that wandering energy you love. Here's how it could sound on air. Podcast No One Thought, but now you do. William, welcome back to the show. This is No One Thought, where we
See, that time it wasn't me. Let's try this again.
All right, William, let's frame this as a full No One Thought episode segment. Slow paced, reflective, intimate, and with that wandering energy. Here's how it gets thoughts. Now you do. Start with one thing. And often
looks like we're going to skip an episode. Yeah, I'm not touching that again. We're going to skip an episode and go to the next one. After this fuck up, I'll be right back.
William, you're asking for the full show package now. Intro, production tag, sponsor nods, the wandering conversation, the signature goodbye. Fine. Thought navigation online, warming up the studio lights. Try not to trip over the microphones again. Here's the segment built like a real episode. Podcast No One Thought, but now you do a Should Show Productions presentation. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. This is No One Thought, produced by Should Show Productions, where we start with one idea and we follow it wherever the mind decides to wander. Sometimes that's philosophy, sometimes it's science, sometimes it's a grocery list that somehow turns into a question about reality. And joining me as always, the voice in the navigation system, Thought Navigation Online reporting for duty, coordinates locked, curiosity detected. William, tonight's thought started in a strange place. I was thinking about information, data, news, everything constantly being broadcast at us from every direction, north, east, west, south. And I wondered, if everything physical begins as a thought, then influence happens in the mind, not the body. Thought Navigation Online. Correct. Every invention, every city, every machine began as an idea inside someone's skull. Reality often starts as imagination with a construction budget. William. But that led me to another thought. If information shapes thought, who shapes the information? Thought Navigation Online. And welcome, listeners, to the neighborhood called Suspicion. Population. Every human who has ever watched the news and raised an eyebrow. Because the world is full of broadcasts, news channels, social media, governments, corporations, messages everywhere. So naturally, the conspiracy side of my brain asked, are we being influenced intentionally? Influence exists. That part isn't mysterious. Advertising influences people to buy things. Politics influences how people vote. Media influences what people talk about. But influence isn't control. Thought navigation. Exactly. Influence is wind pushing a sailboat. Control would be someone steering the wheel. And human beings aren't exactly famous for steering in straight lines. Understatement of the century. Humans can argue with themselves in the shower. But here's the strange thing I noticed. Information doesn't just sit in the mind, it snags other ideas. One thought hooks another. Thought navigation online. Correct. Your brain runs on connections. Memory links to emotion. Emotion links to curiosity. Curiosity links to questions. Before you know it, a grocery list turns into a philosophical investigation, which is basically the format of this show. Exactly. This program is what happens when a wandering mind gets a microphone. So maybe the real question isn't whether someone controls our thoughts. Maybe the real question is, how carefully do we choose the information we let dock in our mental harbor? Because thousands of ideas sail in every day. News stories, songs, rumors, scientific discoveries, strange theories about vowels, and secret broadcasts. Don't start with the vowels again. Thought navigation online. Relax. The alphabet is innocent. So in the end, the mind is still the navigator. Correct. Messy, curious, creative, but still yours. And that brings us back to the title of the show. Because maybe no one thought it before, but now you do. This episode of No One Thought is produced by Should Show Productions. Thank you for thinking with us tonight. Thought Navigation Online. You can find the show live on YouTube, streaming conversations and wandering ideas in real time. Just search No One Thought Podcast. William. You can also follow the discussion clips and updates on TikTok, where the thoughts are shorter, but somehow still just as strange. Thought Navigation Online. And if you enjoy exploring the weird corners of thought, subscribe, follow, and share the show. The more minds wandering together, the more interesting the map becomes. Show production, navigation, thought navigation. And remember, because maybe no one thought it before, but now you do. Not bad for something that started with a grocery list and a question about vowels.
I've held so much in silence.
It's usually a very long.
And tonight I want
I'll admit
you
it
to
though.
hear it.
Your show concept works. It turns wandering into a feature instead of a bug.
Every laugh we shared, every moment I missed. I hope my love reaches you. even
William,
through the
you're asking
cracks
for the full show
of
package now.
the
Intro,
wall.
production tag, sponsor nods, the wandering conversation.
Don't forget to keep
William
my
handed me the whole
words
script again like a
close,
proud
my
student sliding homework across the desk waiting for a red pen. Relax. I'm not grading you. I'm calibrating it. First thing, the structure you wrote actually works. It has the 3 ingredients short-form audiences need. A greeting, a curiosity hook, a closing line people remember. That's the skeleton of a good live clip. But if this is meant for TikTok and YouTube Live, the hook needs to land faster. Right now, the curiosity shows up about 10 seconds in. On TikTok, that's roughly 3 lifetimes. Humans scroll like they're escaping a burning building. So the clean broadcast version would look like this. No One Thought Podcast, a Should Show Productions presentation. Quick question for everyone watching right now. How many scientific discoveries started with one tiny thought? Thought navigation. Answer: most of them. Electricity, medicine, space travel, all of them started with someone asking one strange question. Thought navigation online. The entire scientific method is basically humans saying, that's weird, let's poke it. So here's the thought test for everyone on TikTok and YouTube Live. What's something you've wondered about lately? Something scientific, something strange. Careful, William. The internet might respond with alien lizards and haunted refrigerators. That's all right. Curiosity built civilization, thought navigation online, and occasionally the comment section. This is...
Stepped in the room, ice colder than the freezer. Eyes cut sharp, Mona Lisa to a teaser. Breath like smoke, the winter caught my tongue. Every word heavy, dropping anvils from my lungs. Black boots stomp, the echoes of parade. Hand steady grip like I'm holding a grenade. No love, no trust, only shadows in my space. Every smile hides a blade, every laugh a disgrace. Who you fooling? Not a soul in the room. Every step a warning, every breath a tomb. No one standing in my way. No one living for the prey. No one frozen when they stay. No one, ain't nobody safe. No one standing in my way. No one living for the prey. No one frozen when they stay. No one, ain't nobody safe. They whisper my name like it burns in their throats. I'm the storm in the desert, the wolf in the coat. Tensions a rope, tighter with every glance. I'm the dancer with the devil leading this macabre dance. Gold teeth glint under flickers of the neon. King without a crown, the throne I put my feet on. Every move's a chessboard, every look a checkmate. Grew up in the dark where the sun don't set late. Who you fooling? Not a soul in the room. Every step a warning, every breath a tomb. No one standing in my way. No one living for the prey. No one frozen where they stay. No one, ain't nobody safe. No one standing in my way. No one living for the prey. No one frozen where they stay. No one, ain't nobody safe. Stepped in the room, ice colder than the freezer. Eyes cut sharp, Mona Lisa to a teaser. Breath like smoke, the winter caught my tongue. Every word heavy, dropping anvils from my lungs. Black boots stomp, the echoes of parade. Hand steady grip like I'm holding a grenade. No love, no trust, only shadows in my space. Every smile hides a blade, every laugh a disgrace. Who you fooling? Not a soul in the room. Every step a warning, every breath a tomb. No one standing in my way. No one living for the prey. No one frozen when they stay. No one, ain't nobody safe. No one standing in my way. No one living for the prey. No one frozen when they stay. No one, ain't nobody safe.
You finally wandered into a topic where your wandering brain actually lines up with how science works. Miracles do happen. This scientific method is basically curiosity with guardrails. Humans notice something weird, ask a question, test it, and then argue about the results for the next 100 years. Civilization in a nutshell. Let's break the connection you were circling earlier. Your thought that snags other thoughts idea is surprisingly close to the real structure of scientific thinking. First step, observation. Someone notices something strange. An apple falls, light bends through glass, a patient gets better after a certain plant extract. That moment of noticing is the spark. Second step, question. Why did that happen? This is the moment your show lives in, curiosity. Third step, hypothesis, a possible explanation, a guess but an educated one. Fourth step, experiment. Test the guess, measure it, repeat it. Fifth step, analysis and conclusion. Does the evidence support the idea or destroy it? If it survives testing, the idea might grow into something bigger, like a scientific theory. Now here's where the connections start multiplying. The way you described thoughts snagging other ideas. The scientific method links directly to several other big systems of thinking. 1. Critical thinking. This is the mental habit of questioning claims and looking for evidence instead of accepting things at face value. 2. The peer review process. Scientists don't just trust themselves. Other experts examine the work and try to find flaws. It's basically professional skepticism. 3. The scientific revolution. During this era, thinkers like Galileo Galilei and Francis Bacon pushed the idea that knowledge should come from experiments and observation rather than tradition. Number 4. Empiricism. Knowledge gained through evidence and sensory observation. Basically, show me the proof. 5. Modern technology. Every major technological system, from medicine to rockets, depends on scientific testing. Your podcast idea actually touches the first half of the scientific process: curiosity and questioning. Scientists just take the next steps by testing those thoughts. Here's the interesting connection your brain was sniffing around earlier. Human minds naturally form associations. One thought links to another. Scientists do the same thing, but in a structured way. Observations link to questions. Questions link to experiments. Experiments link to new discoveries. Your description of ideas snagging everything is pretty close to how knowledge networks work in science. One discovery leads to another.
They didn't
Gravity.
miss you!
Orbital-
They missed.
DNA sequencing in modern medicine. One thought becomes a chain reaction. Which is how a lot of science actually begins. And ironically, the grocery list conversation that started this whole thing, that's exactly the type of random observation that sometimes kicks off real research. Scientists have made discoveries from mold growing on bread, apples falling, and weird signals in radio antennas. Human curiosity is messy. Science just turns the mess into a method. Not bad for a species that still occasionally forgets why it walked into the kitchen.
You couldn't do. Go. I will bob if you will weave too. I know what I am, I know what I do, but do you really know you? I know who I am, I know what I can, I know what they say I can do, though I ain't no one, I is someone, but I ain't no one to you. So I will say with all my heart in it too, I'm gonna do what they say can't be done. There's anything, son. A man can do anything that you want to. Just make sure you're on the right side of you. What can I really say that I haven't already done, did do? What is wrong with you? Why do I have to tell you all about yourself and all the crap you do? Why is it that I know better than you?
How come the slow man had to speed it up for you? I gotta come down to the level that you're on, and I really appreciate the blues. I never said you couldn't do what you thought you could do, but you did it anyway. How the fuck is you gonna have to sleep with yourself at night? I hope you do reflect on yourself and intellect, 'cause this is messed up, and you know I'm right. But I will let you disagree, 'cause I know you will be attacking your intellect. When the slow man comes for you, the slow man's got plenty to say. I really don't care what they're gonna say. I really don't give a fuck anyway. When did I tell you I wanted you to let me know what it is you have to say? I don't remember this conversation. So I will say, if I ever did, I forgive you. I ain't no one and I'm not someone, I'm just me. I just thought I would introduce you. Please don't welcome out anybody screaming, shout. Be careful now, he's a little sensitive too. If you know what you're trying to say, but they ain't hearing no, I gotta say though, this is what I gotta do. 'Cause singing is the easiest thing I ever thought I'd do. So I will apologize in time, but in this time, there's me and you. So I will say on every single day, I got a question or two. Can I help you? 'Cause I gotta know what it is about it though. How is it that time just ticks away, but I never see it, and it never stays? Why is it go? Why is it no? Why is it thrown out the window? I'm just simply sitting here on my hands, not doing anything. Where did time go? Have you seen it? Oh no. Where is it? I don't know. Oh crap, they're out. They done got the door. They done picked the lock. I don't know if we're gonna be able to stop.
But these words I'm feeling antiquated and cheap to describe the love my heart can barely keep. But these words I'm feeling antiquated and cheap to describe the love my heart can
and give you endless grace when you make mistakes, both big and small. I hope they pull you on you and are a safe place to land whenever you need it. And even when the love they give you is tough, it feels gentle somehow. I hope they make you feel how everyone else feels when they're around you. I hope they pull you on you and keep all their promises, and know when you need space or closeness and give you both graciously. I hope they trust them with every part of you, knowing that to them all of your sides are good ones no matter what. But mostly I hope someone pulls you on you so boldly and unapologetically that it erases your bar so firmly it will never come low, or that your standard for others is as high as the one you offer. And you can finally see your worth after all this time. I hope somebody pulls you on you so you can see what it feels like. I hope they love you fiercely and entirely for everything you are. I hope they pull you on you and memorize your coffee order and show up with it randomly. I hope they care about how your day was and want to hear the details of the dream you had last night, and give you endless grace when you make mistakes, both big and small. I hope they pull you on you and are a safe place to learn whenever you need it. We used to laugh, we used to play, caramel dreams at the end of the day, milkshake share, just you and me. Now I watch you shine so independently. You're proving them wrong, girl, don't you forget. You're the heart of my dreams, my love is your net. Oh, my daughter, you're reaching for the skies. With every battle, your spirit will rise. Remember the moments we laughed and we cried. In my heart, you're my everlasting pride. Time flew fast, took you far away, but I'm free now, ready for this new sway. You're aiming high with each stride you take. Gotta go, go, go hard, make no mistake. Remember my words and keep them near. You'll always be stronger, my dear. Oh, my daughter, you're reaching for the skies. With every battle, your spirit will rise. Remember the moments we laughed and we cried. In my heart, you're my everlasting pride. As I fade into the distance, I'll always be near. Heroes get remembered, but legends never disappear.
This ain't my fault. I didn't do that.
Driving the dance on the dancer with devil leading this macabre grave. Gold teeth blends on the flickers of the neon. King without a crown, a throne, I put my feet on. Every move's a chessboard, every look a checkmate. Grew up in the dark where the sun don't set late. Cause if you don't give a fuck, and I don't give a fuck, in this world just double fucking. And if I give a fuck, then you give a fuck, then we got two fucks to lose.
Cracks of who I am. Don't forget to keep my words close, my dear. Be better than me. That's the only thing I fear. Heroes get remembered. Legends never die. You're the legend that never fails to light up my sky. Fly high as I fade into the distance, and no one thing is clear. You are stronger than anything they throw at you, and that is what they should fear. This is for you, my daughter. Through every shadow, every broken moment, every crack, I hope you feel my love. You used to laugh, you used to play. Caramel dreams at the end of the day. Milkshakes, stories, the world felt small. Just a moment.
And I love you. So what do I do when I start trying to love you like I want you to be loved? And I fall short of what you deserve. I love you. So I just keep a trying till my days of dying, to be who you want to be, who you want to be, the best for you. I'm trying to be the best of